Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria says federal government is losing a lot of revenue daily due to its inability to ramp up crude oil production. The chairman of PETAN, Wale Ogunsanya, disclosed this in Lagos when the representatives of the Association of Energy Correspondents of Nigeria, led by its chairman Ugo Amadi, said the association's resolve to support the efforts of the President Bola Tinubu-led administration toward increasing Nigerians' oil and gas production for maximum value. He said the vision of PETA was to support the authorities to ensure that all the values existing in the oil industry stay in Nigeria, adding that if Nigeria could retain between 60 and 70% of the oil and gas value chain in the country, it stands a better chance of being among the top 20 economies in the world. He expressed concerns that Nigeria was losing a lot due to its inability to produce up to its oil production capacity, adding that the country was underproducing to the tune of at least 500,000 barrels per day, which he said was a huge loss to the country. The PETA leaders also said such losses would not have been possible if there had been full in-country retention of values and beneficiation across the chains of the industry. Complaints of 5 bank customers in 2023 increased by over 63.54% to over 10 million from 66.12 million in the previous years. This is coming in view of the analysis of the audited financial results filed with the Nigerian Exchange Limited in recent weeks. More than half of the complaints came from the customers of one of the largest banks in the country. The financial institutions reviewed in the report included Access Holdings, United Bank for Africa, Zenith Bank, Guaranty Trust Holding Company, and Wema Bank. While the Financial Services Group said it was able to resolve over 5,000 complaints, with the amount claimed to be 273.04 billion naira, out of which 2.07 billion was refunded. The group was able to resolve a significant portion of the complaints, and 450 million naira was refunded. During this period, no refunds were made in dollars or pounds sterling, and the group said 80 complaints were escalated to the Central Bank of Nigeria for intervention. International Monetary Fund says countries across the world must prioritize productivity reforms to revive medium-term growth. IMF said the global growth rate has slowed steadily since the 2008-2009 global financial crisis, and without policy intervention and leveraging emergency technologies, while the stronger growth rates of the past were unlikely to return. Nigerian's Finance Minister Edun, who is also the coordinating minister of the economy, urged employers of the labor in the country to invest in technology to boost productivity. Providing insight into his stance, the IMF remarked that given headwinds, future growth prospects had also soared, with global growth projected to slow to just above the 3% by 2029. Adding that focused policy actions to enhance market competition, trade openness, financial access, and labor market flexibility could lift global growth by about 1.2 percentage points by 2030. On artificial intelligence, the IMF said its potential to boost labor productivity is uncertain, but potentially substantial as well, possibly adding up to 0.8 percentage points to global growth, depending on its adoption and impact on the workforce. Air Peace has faulted internal intrigues for the previously outrageous high price that foreign airlines were charging for international trips. Chief Executive Officer Onyema Allen Uyoma, who disclosed this, attributed the fall of the naira to the airlines and claimed that they were willing to buy dollar at any rate, which put a strain on the nation's legal tender, thus contributing significantly to its decline. The Air Peace boss also said the inaugural flight of the domestic airline from Lagos to London prompted its international counterparts to automatically crash their fares from 17 million naira to 5 million naira, despite the dollar rates remaining unchanged. Oyema further urged Nigerians to imbibe and display patriotism at all times. United States International Development Finance Corporation says it has approved 22 new projects totaling more than $697 million to support development projects in infrastructure, increasing food security and small businesses in Nigeria and other parts of the world. DFC partners the private sector to finance solutions to the most critical challenges facing the developing world, while one of the projects approved for the second quarter of the year included a $250 million loan to Africa Finance Corporation to support critical infrastructures across the African continent. It has also approved a $65 million loan to SFC Finance Limited to fund on lending the small businesses throughout sub-Saharan Africa, expanding access to term loans and working capital, especially among women-owned and women-led enterprises. Also, International Development Finance Corporation has approved a $20 million loan to the African Local Currency Bond Fund to support capital market development and finance inclusion for small businesses, an equity investment of up to $15 million to Inside Equity Fund 2 to support the fund's expansion of investments in undeserved small businesses in Southeast Africa, while $500,000 technical assistance grants to Persisha Africa Limited will provide the enterprise capital to leverage data science, machine learning, and other advanced computing technologies to further develop its credit scoring algorithm, enhancing its sustainable lending practices to small businesses in sub-Saharan Africa. You're still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next, international tidbits. In view of the prevalent security and economic threats in West African nations, the member representing the Akwa Ibom Northeast Senatorial District, Senator Anyekan Bassi, has called on member nations of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to unite and tackle the menace. Bassi, who is a member of the ECOWAS Parliament and Deputy Chairman of the Senate Committee on Agriculture Production, Services and Rural Development, made the appeal after the inaugural plenary session of the 6th legislature of the ECOWAS Parliament. He said, with proper integration of member nations and a united front, the region can increase its trade volume and tackle the security challenges, as well as count its gains in the agriculture and health sector. While suing for peace in the region, the senator pledged the determination of the parliament to work to ensure the economic growth of member nations by addressing the identified challenges. 17 religious pilgrims have been killed and 41 injured in a deadly truck crash while traveling to a shrine in southwestern Pakistan. The crash happened in the Hub district of Balochistan province, while District Deputy Commissioner Muni Ahmed confirmed the toll of death and injured, stressing that the truck was overspeeding and suddenly went out of the driver's control while negotiating a turn and fell into a ravine as they approached the shrine. Shukat Jabunali, the Deputy Medical Superintendent of Hub's main hospital, also confirmed 17 people have been killed and said most of the injured are being sent to nearby Karachi city for treatment. Road accidents with high fatalities are common in Pakistan, where safety measures are lax, and driver training is poor, as well as transport infrastructure often decrepit. While in January 2023, 41 people were killed when the passenger bus, which was also loaded with containers of flammable oil, plunged into a ravine in Balochistan province and burst into flames. Here now is ATN Sports News. Super Falcons captain Rasheedat Ajibade has dismissed claims that the team adopted a defensive approach in their clash against South Africa in Pretoria on Tuesday. Randy's Waldrum side held the Bayana to a 0-0 draw in the second leg of the 2024 Olympic Games fourth round qualifying tie, and the result ensured their passage to Paris 2024 following a 1-0 aggregate win. Ajibade, who scored the decisive goal in the first leg, claimed the Super Falcons played to win in South Africa. Uwana Asukwo has won Enyimba's Player of the Month award for March. Asukwo beat midfielder Elijah Akani to the award, while the defender won 51.7 votes, with Akani getting 48.3 votes. Asukwo has featured in 22 games for Enyimba in the Nigerian Premier Football League this season and also has 2 assists to his name. Asukwo will be hoping to continue with his standout performance as Enyimba continue their title fight, while Enyimba will face Heartland in a matchday 30 fixtures in Aba on Sunday. Napoli have recognized Lille striker Jonathan David as a top target to replace the parting Victor Osimhen. Despite signing a contract extension with Napoli last December, Osimhen is set to leave the Italian side at the end of the season. Paris Saint-Germain is leading the race to sign him as a replacement for the Real Madrid-bound Kylian Mbappe. Chelsea also said to be interested in signing the Nigerian international as a marquee forward signing to take the club to the next level, while Jonathan David is a top preference for Napoli. David has scored 23 goals and provided 7 assists in 39 games so far this season, mirroring his output from the 2022 to 2023 campaign. And now, entertainment news. Nollywood actress and producer Iniedo has reacted to the death of a colleague, Pope Obumneme Odowodo, popularly known as Junior Pope. Pope died after the boat conveying him and other actors capsized while crossing the River Niger for a movie shoot. Following the development, the Actors Guild of Nigeria has barred actors from working with Adam Matluk, the producer of the movie which led to the death of the actor and 3 others. In an Instagram post, Iniedo wrote, Junior Pope did not have to sacrifice his life for Nollywood to realize the need for a long and much-needed regulatory structure that would safeguard an entire production. This one cuts really deep. Nigerian musician Michael Adebayo Olayinka, popularly known as Ruga, has spoken about fallout with his label boss, Johnson World. The 24-year-old singer expressed gratitude toward his former record label, Johnson World, for bringing him into limelight, asserting that he won't be renewing his contract with the label, and his brand is not being pushed as much as he wanted. He also said he very many things to talk about. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Police kill gang leader who murdered CDC chairman. Betta Edu denies involvement in 30 billion naira recovered by EFCC. IPAC appeals for electoral reforms ahead of 2027. NAFDAC rejects toxic cough syrup in circulation. Senator Bassi advises ECOWAS nations to tackle economic challenges. Asukwo bags Enyimba Player of the Month. Iniedo react to actor's death, Junior Pope. I am Wendy Aguma. Thank you for watching and good evening.